Welcome to Adventures with Holly and Brian. Our channel is all about adventures within driving distance of Portland, Oregon.
In today's video, we'll take you along to the Washington Cascades, where we're going to compete in a navigation race called Orienteering.
Orienteering is a sport that involves running or hiking through the woods using a map and compass to navigate to a series of checkpoints, which are called controls. Whoever finds all the controls first is the winner.
Let's see who wins. Hey,
Brian,
where are you going?
we're going to Cle Elum, Washington for an orienteering weekend, which is a navigation sport.
That sounds fun.
Here's an overview of where we're heading. The meet is near the town of Cle Elum, Washington, which is in the Cascades. It's about a 4-hour drive from Portland, and you can either drive around the mountains on the west side, passing close to Seattle, or on the east side. The east side goes through the Columbia River Gorge National Scenic Area and also often has less traffic, so we'll go that route.
Well, it's not the bright sunny day that you might have wanted for going through the gorge, but pretty good. It's kind of cool with the shadows and bright spots as the clouds are blocking the sun a bit.
How's that kombucha?
It's good. This is hopped grapefruit.
The Columbia River Gorge is the path the Columbia River cuts through on its way to the Pacific Ocean. It cuts right through the Cascade Range, making it a great winter route through the mountains and an important travel route for many people across history. As we're driving east along it, the river itself is on our left out Brian's window, and it's the border that divides Oregon from Washington. It starts out really lush and full of waterfalls on the west side and near Portland, and then it transitions over the course of about an hour's drive into a desert landscape. A really bizarrely fast transformation. You'll get to see the transformation happen on this video as we head east. The western part is full of beautiful hiking trails to waterfalls, and a number of waterfalls you can also see right off the highway. And we'll explore those in a future video. Unfortunately, in 2017, there was a large wildfire in the gorge that started from a firework. Here you can see one of the sections that burned. The Columbia River was particularly valued by American Indian cultures for its abundant salmon runs. With the arrival of European American fur trappers, traders, explorers, and later pioneers, beginning in the late 1700s through the 1800s, new diseases like smallpox were introduced that were devastating to the tribes and dramatically reduced the population. The Lewis and Clark expedition traveled down the Columbia River Gorge in 1805, mapping and documenting the route to the Pacific coast. Then in the 1840s or so, pioneers began arriving in large numbers on the Oregon Trail. They would stop at the Dalles before transferring all their belongings onto rafts and finishing the remainder of the journey to the Willamette Valley by rafting down the river, dodging rapids. You might remember this from the Oregon Trail computer game of the 1990s. At first, rafting down the river was the only viable way to finish the Oregon Trail, but after a few years, a fairly treacherous overland route over the mountains, the Barlow Road, became an alternative option. You can see it's getting a lot drier now as we move into the eastern part of the gorge. Here we're going to cross the river and enter Washington so we can head north up to Cle Elum. can see lots of wind turbines on the hills here. We stayed at this really awesome cabin in the woods that my mom found through her square dancing club. Since orienteering involves running through the forest, Brian's putting on gaiters to protect his legs from thorns or other undergrowth. Here we're driving to the orienteering meet, which is near Cle Elum. The name Cle Elum is derived from the word for swift water in the Kittitas language. It's an old town from the early 1900s whose industry was originally lumber and coal mining.
Oh, energetic.
Are we going left or right?
Left.
I realized it better.
My orienteering glasses.
And why are there different orienteering glasses?
So my eyes don't get poked out by these sticks. And so they protect my eyes a little bit from the wind if it's windy.
Seems very practical.
Yes. And
What about these supplies?
how's my finger stick? So when I get to the control that I'm looking for, which is like an orange and white bag, I can record that I was there electronically.
Okay.
And my compass, my thumb compass, I can put it on my map like that so I don't get lost.
We're heading to the start. So there's about a, 1.6 kilometer walk? So we're following these ribbons. There's one right there. Get to the start. So I'm heading down this trail, and I'm going to get to that big trail and then take it most of the way to 2. And that way it'll involve less cutting through the cross country. Here's that road, so now I'm going to be able to turn right. It's that thick line on the map, so I'm right here. I think I'm making up some time on this one. Got really lost on the first one. I think I lost about 15 minutes. Taking a really safe route this time, going around on the road. We'll see how it goes. So I've been jogging on the road along here. Just got to this junction. You can see it right ahead. That's where I'm heading. Here's the road I've been running down. I'm gonna get pretty close to this second control here, right on this path. Then I'll be able to slow down. I'm gonna pace count till I get pretty close to it. so I can take some fine contour and compass readings to get into it. All right, heading off the trail now. This is a spur, so essentially a hill coming off of a hill, and I'm gonna head up it because it looks like my control number 2 here. If I get off the trail onto this spur, follow it up, I should find it. Heading up that hill, I think I see it in the distance. See that orange flag? This was a much better control. Talking it through helps. Got a big section of gray on the map here. This is bare rock. And right ahead, going to 3, I can see that bare rock in the terrain. Seems like we're on track so far. Heading over the bare rock. All right, phone, that was a close call. I'm going to put this away now because I was climbing over this log behind me about 10 minutes ago, and I dropped you under it and didn't notice. Almost got to the next control and had no phone. Had to retrace back through all that. So, very lucky we have this video. I will sign off. Seem to have caught up to each other at the same spot. Heading to control 5. Who will be the winner? What was that? She said she's winning, I believe was the phrase.
I think the map's wrong.
Map's wrong?
No way. It's definitely not wrong, but I don't understand it.
All right, heading to control 12. There it is. Got it.
I saw a hawk catch a Cle Elum fight. It sounded like it got my attention because I thought somebody had launched a little rocket, made a swishing sound as the exhaust might sound from a rocket, and it was a hawk.
Wow, a bear on your course.
Yes, he was running away from some other sound. So he was running kind of in front and perpendicular to me. I don't think he saw me or heard me.
Running away from the sound of my despair at number 7.
And at first I thought it was a moose. And then I realized it was kind of loping. It didn't look like it was moving like a moose. And plus there wouldn't be any moose here. It's too dry.
She got treed by a bear when we were in college. We had this long debate about whether she could climb a tree if there were no branches, and then we found out that she could.
Yep. Because when a tree doesn't have branches on the bottom, it often has little tiny things that are sticking out that you don't realize are there. And if you're scared enough, you can just use those little things to hoist yourself up into the branches higher up.
Going along here, and I was like, I'm not sure where I am. And then
ended up kind of bushwhacking apparently through this, hitting this other trail, and then realizing, oh, well, it's got to be this area because I can see that it's going to converge with another trail down here and so forth. So I ended up going.
I was on a trail, thinking it was a good trail,
So
and then
one went all the way down to the house.
you mean with the house that was on the other side of the river? Oh, I ended up on that one. Did you get on that one?
That's the one I initially took.
You went the same wrong way.
So what did you do after that?
Well, then I thought, well, maybe I can just go up the hill because the control's just on the other side.
That's what I did too.
Yeah, but
Tooth and nail.
oh no, I didn't do it. I didn't actually physically do it.
Okay.
I started towards it and I thought that looks way too hard to get through. I guess I just have to go backtrack and go all the way around. But I'm glad you tried that because I thought I should have done that.
We're going to pick up controls. We've got 6 assigned to us going across this field. There are some cow patties to dodge. We've made it to the feast stage.
Brains are partially intact.
We had an experience picking up controls afterward, which we will relate in the future.
Now I think I've lost my phone.
So we'll have to play next time. This time we were a little tired.
We had a great time orienteering over the weekend. If you'd like to try it out yourself, check out Cascade Orienteering Club in Washington or Columbia River Orienteering Club in Oregon. Both clubs host meets throughout the year in the Pacific Northwest.
Subscribe to our channel for more weekend adventures from Portland. See you next time.